Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Sue and today is day 17 of my Sue's Daily Journal series. And I do actually owe you all an apology. I'm sure you haven't missed me, but I haven't actually published for the past 2 days. I published on Friday the 14th and Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and 16th, I had family here. My daughter and her partner and their son, my grandson, came over on Saturday. Pretty much everything else went out the window, to be fair, and I made the most of having some time with my family. My daughter does live a good 4 hours away drive, so we don't see each other as much as I'd like, but so when we do get together, I do sort of prioritize things, and family comes first always. And on Sunday, so I didn't get around to doing it on Saturday, and I was just too excited, to be honest, to see my grandson. I mean, he's 3.5, and he's full on, but he's so much fun, and he's so pure, and he's so innocent, so unprogrammed, and just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And on Sunday, my youngest son, his partner, and their 2 children came for the day. So, as you can imagine, I had a house full, and but loved every minute of it. Absolutely loved every minute of it. And you know, having the children here as well is always, it just, you know, having young energy, young, pure, innocent energy in the house is so rejuvenating and cleansing, and it just brings out your inner child so much, which is great because I'm a big kid at heart anyway. And so I've had a very busy weekend, and my grandson is staying with us this week. My daughter went back yesterday, and he's staying with us for the week, and we'll meet up with him next week and exchange. Well, not exchange, because we've done the dogs for the grandchild exchange already, but we will be dropping him back to them on a week today. I've also had on Friday, as many of you who watched my Friday journal video, I did it outside in the evening after I'd finished holding space for a group of ladies who came for a sound bath. That is, if people that don't know what a sound bath is, it's a collection of instruments, and basically I play them, and they lay down on the floor on their mats with blankets, cushions, get as comfy and snuggly as possible, although it was quite hot, so they didn't really need blankets on Friday evening, and it's just a deep relaxation practice. And some of the instruments that are used, and in my previous journal for the 14th, today's the 17th of August 2026, by the way, so the 14th, Friday the 14th of August, I did, in my video, I did actually manage to, which I was quite chuffed about, but I did actually manage to pop a photograph of my sound bath, that, you know, whilst it was set up outside, so that you could see all of the instruments. And so some of the instruments that you may see, I should have just got them all a bit closer really, but I've got crystal singing bowls. I'll grab a couple and show you. So a crystal singing bowl, which is one of these. You can hear that noise. is. But they, yeah, you've got to experience. I might actually do a sound bath and put it on my channel at some point. So that's one of the instruments. Then you've got the Tibetan bowls as well. And I've got bells, drums, rain sticks, wave drums, and yeah, lots of different sized Tibetan bowls, different sized crystal bowls, different colour crystal bowls, a tongue drum, which you don't play with your tongue, by the way, and my gong, which is you know, like a dinner gong. That's pretty much what it looks like. It is one really, and together with all of those in a sequence that I have sort of intuitively developed over the past 4 years I've been doing this, and the different bowls, the crystal bowls particularly for me, they're like the magic. They're all magical, but the crystal singing bowls, each of them resonates with a different part of your body, a different area of your body. So say for instance the big orange red one that I just picked up and showed you, that is the same frequency, because our bodies, you know, we are primarily water and electric. We have a lot of I don't know what they're called, but we have a lot of sort of energy which is you know, sort of running through our bodies, and we do have like a main energy center that runs down the center of the human body. And the different crystal bowls resonate with different parts of that energy center. So for instance, the red bowl that I just showed you does resonate, the frequency it emits will resonate with your root chakra. Your root chakra is the base of your spine, and your root chakra represents your stability, your belonging, your security, your survival, your life essence, the core of you, if you like. It's for safety, protection, and, you know, security. I use it a lot of the time if you're moving home, or if something uproots you. You know, there's all these sayings, isn't there? I felt really uprooted, and some of the symptoms for it, although I'm not claiming any sort of medical grounds here, but some of the symptoms I get, this is just from personal experience, some of the symptoms that I experience when I'm ungrounded, is I feel very lightheaded. I can't concentrate. I lose track of time, and I can't seem to I have no focus and no stamina, almost, because I can't focus on doing a job and completing it. Very airy-fairy, sort of drifting around, not quite here sort of feeling, a bit dreamy. And that, for me, is how I experience it when I feel ungrounded, which, to be honest, isn't very often, because I do work very hard on my energy centers, and I do work very hard on keeping myself connected. You know, obviously to the earth is the best way to ground yourself, you know, barefoot on the ground. And there's lots of visualizations you can do to really sort of help with that. You know, obviously, which I teach in my meditation classes, and through all the practices, the holistic healing practices that I do. And so, you know, even doing some gardening, or even if it's a house plant, even if it's going for a walk in nature, or if you've got a town park, going for a walk in the town park, whatever, you know, whatever outside space you've got, if there's a bit of grass, if there's a tree, a few shrubs, a couple of flowers, you know, anything like that. But even just visualizing it, you can just visualize, you know, being grounded by closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths, and just imagining yourself laying on the ground outside on nice, you know, soft, fluffy, luscious, you know, lush grass, if you like, and just picturing that and feeling how cool the grass feels on your body, and you could even go one step further and imagine roots growing from the bottom of your feet, from the soles of your feet, and going down deep into Mother Earth itself. And that is a really, really powerful way of even just saying, I'm grounded. That brings you back. So there's lots of different things you can do to just help yourself. If, you know, for me, when I'm experiencing those sort of things, that's what really helps me. And obviously playing with the crystal bowls and the other instruments that I have, they all help as well. So Friday evening, I held space for a group of ladies and gave a sound bath, and I've done another one today, this afternoon, for another group of ladies, and which was great. And so we've had some rain over the weekend, which is amazing. So yeah, we've had some rain. We had some rain on Sunday, which was yesterday, throughout the day, and also some quite late, like late at night. I think it was about 11. It rained for about an hour, and then I think it was about 4 or 5 early hours here in the UK, and it was raining again. And they both rained for a good hour or so overnight, and everything feels a little bit more fresher this morning. Not quite so dry and dusty and barren, because I know that's what my field looked like, and even the horses feel a little bit more relieved. Oh, you'll hear my cat. There we go. I think that may well be Ronnie. He's my ginger and white cat. He's my familiar. he's lovely. Yeah, you can hear him meowing probably. I've got my window open still. I do apologise. I do have the fan going in the background there, so if I will mess about with the audio before publishing, so that it's not overpowering or annoying. And yeah, so I've just been really busy, really been full on, but I feel really good. You know, as I said in my last video, when I'm holding space for others, I'm actually holding space for myself too, and what they are receiving from, you know, the healing that they're receiving, the relaxing, the rejuvenation that they're receiving through the practice, I also receive as well. I'm giving my energy in a form of holding the space and playing the instruments, but I'm also receiving the love and gratitude, firstly from my clients, and also from the frequencies and vibrations emitted by my instruments. So I am getting the best of both worlds, really, and it's just a lovely way to live. And I held it here in my garden, overlooking my horses. My horses always go to sleep. They always seem to gather. They all seem to gather the other side of the fence, and when I start playing, they sort of all wander off to their place where they sleep, and I don't really see them until afterwards, and they come out afterwards as if to say, thanks mum, that was really, really relaxing, that's great, I've had a great sleep. And then they get a fuss from my guests, which is great. So they really enjoy it as well, and my dogs also do enjoy it. I don't, if I do have a sound bath in my house, which I quite often do because I'm always messing about with them. If my dogs are in, say if they were in the same room, there's probably some instruments I probably wouldn't use because it would possibly hurt, be uncomfortable for them to listen to high pitched things. So I just do a very low key one, unless I'm in the other part of the house, then they'll be fine. They'll just feel the vibration going through the stone and the walls and the floors, and so that it still benefits everybody in the close vicinity. And also setting the intention, initially, I always set an intention for it to be for the highest good of my guests, and for the highest good of Mother Earth, for the highest good of me, to give my guests what they need, energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, if they're on a spiritual path, and also to help them release what no longer serves them, or any spent energy, any stagnant energy, because that will then inhibit how well our energy flows in our body. And old energy, it can be a bit like a stream, and if you get think of like negative thoughts or past traumas, past hurts, even just by it doesn't even have to be big things either, because it can be things that like somebody has said to you that's stuck in your head, and it's actually upset you, and every so often it will just pop up in your mind, and you'll sort of relive all that, and it's still there if that happens. So that is causing, think of that as some debris in the stream, and the water, the more debris that builds up, eventually it becomes a blockage, and the water can't flow freely, and sometimes it's completely backed up, and the all the debris acts as a dam, and then you have a complete blockage. So having energy practices like sound baths, like Reiki, like working with crystals, there's so many different types of different modalities now, even holistic massage, reflexology. There's so many different things now that well, not now, they've been around for thousands of years, but I think people are starting to become a little bit more curious, which is great, and I think a lot of things are beginning to be more accepted, and because they're not, a lot of the things that I do aren't tangent, they're not visible, they're not something you can physically touch, but you can physically feel, and that's your energy, that is your inner self, that is your inner energy, the energy that you quite often possibly won't even ever tap into unless you become aware of it. So that, a very quick explanation. Obviously I could go a lot deeper and I could talk about it for months, but hey ho, I can, I'll elaborate on different modalities as I go, and obviously with my longer videos, they will inevitably be more in depth and about possibly more sort of current or pivotal things that are happening in my life and collectively as well. So yeah, it's been a busy few days, and so I've got my grandson here for the week, which is brilliant. I just adore him, absolutely adore him, and I will be back tomorrow. This is quite late in the evening. It's almost 9 p.m. in the UK, so it's quite a late one, but I do late ones quite often sometimes because it's a journal, and I can't journal in the morning about a day that hasn't happened yet unless I have an intention and an idea of how it might go, and then I could just update you the next day and tell you how it really went. That's always an idea, but you know, generally a diary, a journal would be done after a healing practice, after a therapy, after a chat with friends, after a night out with, you know, having a meal with your husband or your partner. You know, you could do a journal after a meditation, or for instance. But if it's like a diary journal, which this is, it would, you know, it just makes sense to do it at the end of the day. So quite often my you know, say for instance my journal for today, it probably won't get seen really until it's been published, obviously, but that may well be not until tomorrow here in the UK. But once it's published, you know, there's other parts of the world that are awake when us Brits are asleep, and so you know, that's the whole wide world out there. What is it? The wide world web, World Wide Web, whichever way around it is. But that's basically what it is, isn't it? So that's all. I just wanted to come on. I definitely wanted to make a video for today because I know I'm conscious of the fact that I have missed 2 in a row, and I also don't want to let myself down. I've made myself a promise. I've given myself a target, and I want to, you know, yes, there may well be the odd day here and there where I can't do it, but I will always try my hardest. But family first, and I'm sure you appreciate that. On that note, I'm going to go and give my grandson a quick kiss. He's probably fast asleep by now, but I'll go and give him a quiet kiss on the forehead, on the head. Good night. He's probably snoozing away by now, hopefully, and tuck him in, and then get myself sorted and ready for bed, because it's been a long day, physically and energetically, so I'm ready to rejuvenate and recoup and replenish. All begin with R, don't they? I'll see you next time. Take care, be kind to yourselves and others, and always love yourself first. Bye bye for now.